I'm David Moskowitz, and we're speaking with the CEO of Zealand Pharma, Dr. David Solomon. Dr. Solomon, welcome to the program, and thanks for speaking with us.
Thank you.
So with 6 drug candidates in clinical trials right now, can you talk about how the R&D effort at your company is so productive?
Well, we focus on developing peptide drugs. We discover these drug candidates, we advance them in the clinic, and this class of drugs I think is very interesting because we really understand how to make specific, potent and selective drug candidates. And doing so with a very skilled team in Copenhagen, Denmark, we're able to begin clinical development with great frequency, and it's held us in good stead with our partners.
And with regard to the different therapeutic areas that are out there, do you focus on any ones that are specific?
Well, we're very focused on diabetes, obesity, metabolism on one hand, gastrointestinal disease on another, and then also cardiovascular disease. We have domain expertise and terrific scientists at Zealand who have a long track record working in these areas, and so we're very proud to work in these areas because I think we have significant offerings for patients and caregivers.
And what are some of the other reasons for focusing on those specific areas?
Well, there are areas of a lot of unmet need. Diabetes, as you know, is a global pandemic. In the year 2030, there'll be approximately 550 million people around the world with type 2 diabetes, and we think this is a significant opportunity.
Zealand has entered into several partnerships with major drug companies. Can you talk about what some of the most exciting programs are in your pipeline, particularly lixisenatide, which is for type 2 diabetes?
So lixisenatide is a peptide discovered at Zealand, advanced together with our partner Sanofi of France. We've had a terrific partnership with them since 2003. They've advanced this through 10 phase 3 studies in 38 countries, 400 sites, and over 4,300 patients. And we're very pleased to report that the results of all those 10 trials have been positive to date. There'll be further presentations at the ADA meetings in Philadelphia coming up next week. And most significantly, this drug candidate has been filed for registration in Europe, and we're looking forward to the possibility of an approval and then a launch.
That's exciting. What other partnerships are you most excited about?
We have a terrific partnership with Boehringer Ingelheim, also of Germany. Boehringer is advancing a novel peptide called ZP2929. This is a dual-acting agonist that has many of the properties of a GLP-1, but at the same time, it may offer patients the possibility of significant and sustained weight loss. And we're together with Boehringer advancing this into the clinic as we speak.
Great. The GLP-1 agonist segment is getting crowded. Can you talk about lixisenatide further, and particularly keying on the competitive advantages of that product versus other GLP-1 compounds?
Sure. Well, GLP-1s are a very important new offering for patients with type 2 diabetes. And as you know, there are several on the market today. Byetta from Amylin Pharmaceuticals and Victoza from Novo Nordisk. Our drug candidate, lixisenatide, if approved, branded as Luxumia, is, I think, a particularly strong offering. It has good glycemic control, it has weight loss, and a low rate of side effects, and we think it can be easily differentiated from the others. One specific way is it seems to promote gastric emptying, a way to assure that food in the stomach gets into the bloodstream more slowly than perhaps with other GLP-1s, and this might offer a very important differentiation to patients. The other way it's also can be differentiated is its use in basal insulins, including Lantus. Lantus, as you might know, is the leading basal insulin globally in terms of sales and volume of sales. And combining this with Lantus will certainly offer patients the possibility of weight loss. Lantus patients gain weight, and also the possibility of better blood sugar control.
And Sanofi's plan is to combine this product with Lantus as a single franchise?
Exactly. Currently, there's plans for lixisenatide as monotherapy in type 2 diabetes, and also for use as a combination product in patients who will get lixisenatide and Lantus together. And I think together this offers broad therapeutic possibilities for those patients.
And you mentioned that Sanofi is awaiting regulatory approval in the EU. When do you expect that product to actually get to market, and what is the status of lixisenatide in the US?
Sure. So we can't actually predict exactly when there might be a possible approval in the EU, but we expect that we'll hear from EMA in Europe quite soon. And if there is an approval during calendar year 2012, perhaps at the end of the year, it's possible that there will be a launch of lixisenatide branded as Luxumia in 2013. Speaking for the United States filing, we guide, as does our partner Sanofi, that there'll be a US filing in Q4 of 2012.
Great. How large do you think this product could be in terms of thinking about annual sales? What should investors be thinking?
Well, we don't provide guidance on sales, and nor does our partner Sanofi, but global analysts who've been looking at the GLP-1 space predict that the GLP-1 class will be significant in terms of sales for diabetes patients, and those numbers range upwards of about $6 billion by year 2017.
And $6 billion would be divided among approximately how many competitors?
Well, there are many companies that are advancing GLP-1s, but currently there are several in the marketplace that are already north of $1 billion, and so we can see how those medicines and the new drug candidates advance as well.
So lixisenatide could be a large product. Do you expect that Zealand Pharma could become profitable on the sales of lixisenatide?
Well, in 2011, Zealand was already profitable, and while we don't guide for profitability, we guide for break-even in 2012, we do believe, should there be an approval of lixisenatide in Europe and beyond, that our company is on a straight line to profitability based on Lixi and based on our other relationships as well.
Right. And you say that you were profitable last year. Is that on an operating basis, or was that related to partnering income?
These were largely milestone payments that came from our partners, not only Sanofi, but also Boehringer Ingelheim and Helsinn of Lugano, Switzerland. Clearly, durable profitability will come from a royalty revenue stream, and that will happen only should there be an approval of lixisenatide.
And on the earlier stage side of the pipeline, again, you have a robust technology. You're filing INDs quite rapidly. What can you say about the early stage pipeline and any surprises in there for investors?
Well, we have about 11 drug candidates that we're advancing in the early pipeline. Just as a benchmark, 2.5 years ago, 2929, the Boehringer drug candidate, was not even on the pipeline. It was an early drug candidate, and we advanced it rapidly. So there may be, in the early pipeline, several that are exciting and that our business development group is currently in discussions with many leading pharmaceutical companies.
Can you talk about, I understand that they're early, so can you talk about some of the therapeutic areas that you're targeting there?
Well, we always focus, as I mentioned earlier, on diabetes, on GI disorders, and on cardiovascular disorders, but specifically we think that there's a lot of opportunity in dual and triple acting agonists in diabetes, and we think that thinking about polypharmacology in diabetes is a very novel approach that Zealand is taking a leading stance on.
And with respect to your balance sheet, can you talk about how well capitalized you are and what kind of burn can we expect?
Currently, in terms of our cash position, we have, as a Danish company, 527 million Danish crowns of cash, which is equivalent of approximately, or just shy of $100 million US. And currently our cost base in terms of the people, the organization, is about 31 or 32 million US dollars a year. So we have significant cash, but we also have, as you know, milestones that will come in from our partners over time, also revenue in the form of royalties. And so we do believe we're on a straight line to profitability.
So 3 years of cash plus the opportunity for upside from milestones from current partners and potential new partners?
Correct.
That's great. So what should investors expect with regard to key events that could drive the stock for the next several quarters?
Well, we're very excited, of course, by the potential for an approval of lixisenatide in Europe and then a filing in the US. And then another key news flow item would be the beginning of further phase 3 studies with the combination final marketed product. And that may occur, as per our guidance, in early 2013. So in terms of our diabetes franchise and our Sanofi partnership, key news flow coming up. In terms of our Boehringer relationship, getting into the clinic with 2929 I think will be key, and we look forward to advancing that as well.
And with regard to the Boehringer relationship, is that a special relationship? Do you see that as transformational for Zealand?
It is transformational. Boehringer is a company that is surging ahead as a diabetes franchise. They recently launched Tradjenta. They also have a cross-licensing deal with Lilly, and their commitment to 2929 in this new area of dual-acting agonists, I think, is significant, and we look forward to working with them going forward.
Excellent. And just before we wrap up, Zealand Pharma trades on the Copenhagen Stock Exchange. Any plans for a U.S. listing?
We're very happy to be a Danish company listed on NASDAQ OMX in Copenhagen and addressing global investors through that trading platform. So no plans at present to change our listing.
Great. Dr. Solomon, thank you for joining us and speaking with us today.
Thank you.